In this video, I'm going to be explaining to you how 98% of people who want to go and move abroad, oh, I left home, I left the UK, they're all going to end up fucking broke, going back home to exactly where they booked a one-way ticket from within a few short months, right? Trust me, I have been living abroad completely, right? Location freedom for almost 2 years now. February 2024, I took the biggest risk of my life, booked a one-way ticket, all the way from the UK, and I went straight to Thailand, right? Since then, I've lived in 3 different continents, right? I built an online income for myself that this year alone, over the past 9 months, has generated over 100K. Moving abroad is not about, oh, let me go and collect my savings and book an EasyJet flight down the road. Moving abroad means you need to become a travelpreneur, someone who is a remote entrepreneur who can make money from the internet and Wi-Fi and their phone, which can sustain the lifestyle that they desire to have, rather than being like most people nowadays who just move abroad for a few short months, build up a little following, talking about, oh, I'm here, there, and everywhere, and within a few short months, they're back home in their home country because they couldn't make that shit stick. In this video, I'm gonna be explaining to you exactly how you cannot be like the 98% of people, but be like myself and the other 2% of travelpreneurs who are people who've created a lifestyle for themselves and have been able to sustain that lifestyle rather than moving home a few months later with no savings, a bag full of memories, and saying, oh, I'm gonna go do it again. I need to go back home to the UK and work. That's dead. Let's get into it. So how do you actually move abroad in 2025? But the key point is this, bro. How do you stay there? Right? My friend, my brother, my sister, if you're watching this right now, it's because you want to be able to move abroad and stay abroad, not just move abroad for 6 months and then come back home. That's who wants to do that, right? Like I've already said, 90%, this is even wrong. This is literally wrong. 98% of people who move abroad end up back home broke within 90 days because people move abroad off savings and don't know how to create an online income stream. So you're done, you're cooked, you are a dance, you're going back home. Right? That's the raw reality, like it or not. So let's get into it. So what I'm gonna be covering in this video is I'm gonna be giving you a full roadmap to be able to move abroad and actually sustain an income online. If you don't have an income, you have not moved abroad, you left abroad, but you're gonna be coming straight back home, right? So let's start like this. Who the fuck am I? So let's say that you haven't watched any of the other videos on this channel and you're a complete newbie. Hello, my name's Ty, what's going on? So Adi Cap. Who the fuck am I and what have I done? So I have went from being an employee, right, to becoming a full-time travelpreneur. And as I say travelpreneur, I'm talking about a remote entrepreneur who is making money online, who lives completely abroad and does not need to go back home, right? I have been living abroad for the past 2 years, almost 2 years, a year and 8 months, right? I've left the UK to move to Thailand in February 2024 when I was 21 years young, right? This year alone, we're in September right now, so 21st September, me making this, right? Over the last 9 months, I have lived in 3 different continents, not countries, continents, right? I haven't worked a 9 to 5 in almost 2 years, right? And I make money online, and more importantly, I travel the world, right? I started off this year in Thailand. In March this year, I left Thailand and went to go live 4.5 months in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, learned Portuguese. Then I left Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I went to Miami. I went to the Caribbean for 2 weeks. Then I came back to the UK for a day and a half to see my mum. And then I went to move to live in Portugal for 5-6 weeks. Now I'm back here in Thailand, and in 9 days, I'm going to Vietnam, and then I'm going back round to the Caribbean or South America, not really sure where, right? And I make money online, right? The whole point of this video is not to flex, but I'm trying to show you that I know what the fuck I'm talking about because I've been doing this, right? I'm used to this, not new to this, right? This year alone, and this is just from one of my Stripe accounts, right? We've done over 124, let's look at net. We've done over 118,000 US, so maybe that might be about 90K in the last 9 months alone. And that's just one of our Stripe accounts that only really was created in April, as you can see over here. So let's get into it, man. So let's say that your name's Aaron, and I use Aaron because it's just a random name I came up with, but I actually did speak to someone a few days ago, right, who was in the exact same situation as this. Aaron thought of moving to Bali, or let's say he thought of moving to Thailand, right? And he thought that if I go and move to Thailand or Bali, that is gonna give me freedom, right? As long as I go and move abroad and book the ticket, I will have freedom, right? But Aaron forgot that the fucking rent was due, right? Where's my money? Because it's not about him booking the one-way ticket to go and achieve freedom, right? Most people don't make it past a year living abroad because you're too blood clot focused on being a digital nomad and looking lit on Instagram than actually focusing on building an online income. What is your goal? Chances are, if you're watching this video, your goal is to move abroad, and maybe you've already moved abroad, aka went on Skyscanner or Google Flights. Well done, congratulations. But how do you sustain yourself abroad? That's That's the key thing. Anybody can go on Skyscanner, my friend, and book a one-way ticket and get no luggage and go for a 6-hour holiday in a different continent, right? Not many people can make this new chapter of their life a lifestyle and sustain it the right way because they don't know how to make money online. So how many? Let's be real. How many? I even had to bring up a Karen just to kind of visualize this shit. How many, right, of you people right now watching this, or how many people do you know who are this guy? Aaron, aka the digital joke man. This person is someone who, right, moved abroad because they hated the UK or hated their home life. Maybe you're watching this and you're from the States, whatever it could be. You're someone who wants to move abroad or has moved abroad because you hate life at home, you hate living in your area, you feel like you're overworked and underpaid, you want a new life, you want to escape. How many of you also, right, wanted a fresh start abroad? You're tired of the life you've been given in your home country and you're like, you know what, I really want to make this work and I really want to have a fresh start and a new chapter of my life and I want to go and move abroad. How many of you had no plan of making money online? You want to go to Thailand and live off pad kapow and fucking vibes. I literally was speaking to some girl yesterday, right? She's 24, I think. She runs like a travel agency. She wants to go and move abroad, but it's not even, she's booked her ticket. She's leaving in 2 or 3 months, but she's not even got any active income coming in online before she moves abroad. So how are you going to sustain yourself abroad if you're not making money online yet? It doesn't make no sense. You trying to go and move abroad living off savings, you are this person. The digital joke, you're a joke. You're the digital joke, man. I'm sorry to burst the bubble and get you popped back into the real world, but if you don't know how to make a consistent online income, your days abroad are limited, my friend. You'll be backpacking Chiang Mai, looking at how much baht you're spending and end up 6 months back home in the UK because you could not make it stick. Let's go again. How many of you also have 6 side hustles? You've got this thing that you do after work and you know you started this little thing. I was speaking to some guy yesterday who's DMing me and he was telling me that he does Etsy with his mum. Shout out to you, but making £300 a month or £249 and 12 pence every 3 weeks of some Etsy sale that your mum's going to deliver the package for is not how you're going to sustain yourself living on the other side of the world. Do you want to be a 20, 21, 22-year-old guy who claims to be that guy living abroad, booked his one-way ticket and is a remote entrepreneur, but he's literally sending his mum to go and do deliveries for what? A £13 book or something that he sold on Etsy, bro. Like, come on now, man, let's do this. If you want to do this seriously, you have to change your paradigm and take this seriously. Otherwise, it's never going to work. Or let's say someone else, for example, sending daily snaps to their friends on Snapchat or in their family group chat on WhatsApp, showing them what they're missing out on, right? Oh, guys, look what I've just bought for X £100 in Bali, or look at the life that I'm living in Brazil, right? But the reality is that that person has anxiety, spending money, seeing their savings balance every single day go down and down and down because you're spending to look lit abroad, but you ain't getting no money coming in because you don't know how to make money online. You're fucked. You're living on a ticking time bomb. And for that reason, right, it's never gonna work and you're fully dumped. If you think that you can sustain yourself living abroad and make this a permanent chapter of your life, you don't wanna make this a chapter, you wanna make this the Bumble Clock book. But if you don't know how to build an online income, you, my friend, read these words closely. Fully dunce. You're an idiot and it's never going to work and you're gonna go back home. Yeah, it was all right. It was, Chiang Mai's lovely. But you didn't know how to make it work. Yeah, bro, it was all right. Fucking Thailand's fucking crazy. I was in Brazil as well with the fucking Latinas, but you know what I mean? Money ran out, lad, so I thought, you gotta go home, bro. Do you really wanna live that life? Looking lit on Instagram for 5 minutes because you don't know how to go and learn. You never took the risk to go learn a high income skill online, and now you're pissed. Going back home, telling your followers and people online that, oh yeah, I'll be back out soon, dickhead. No, you won't. You got to go and put them hours in back into that 9-to-5 job because you only know how to make money one way, physically, through exchanging your time in a physical labor job. Is that the life you want to live? Let's move on, man. You man are getting me warmed up. Yeah? Online income is the one pillar that determines whether you stay abroad or you have a prolonged holiday. Do you understand that? And I'm talking from a place of experience because you've come and clicked on my video. Why? Because I've done that. I've been there and done that, right? And I've got the scars to go and prove it. So my point to you is, what do you want to do? There's people right now, some of you are probably watching this right now, right? You've already booked your one-way ticket. You're already out there living abroad and you're in some cheap-ass hotel trying to save money because you don't know how to make money. You don't know how to make money come in online, so you're so focused on trying to spend the least amount of money whilst you're abroad. So if I just spend £17.12 a day rather than £26.18 a day, that means I can stay for another 9 days. What the fuck kind of life is that, man? Genuinely. Most people who you see who are digital nomads are people who are broke living abroad, right? And it's never gonna work out long term. How do you think I've been able to sustain my life living abroad and living in 3 different continents, right? Learning 2 new languages. This is not a chapter of my life or a facade. This is every day. If I was falsifying or faking some lifestyle, it would be pretty hard to keep up the act this long, right? I've been about it. This is my life. Right? 2nd year in to the game, living abroad full time. I ain't had to go back to the UK by force. I have not had to go back to the UK and work another job. I have not had to go back to my old way of making money and apply on fucking LinkedIn or clean up my CV. I ain't had to do none of that shit because I've been focusing the last 2 years on building online high income skills that will pay me forever, so I don't need to go back home to the same place that I was screaming that I was leaving 2 years ago. Does that make sense? What do you want to do? So let me ask you this question, rhetorical ones. So just sit down, pause this video and think. What's your actual plan to stay abroad? I'll give you 2 examples. Like I said, I had a call with some young guy who was like 21, I'm pretty sure. Moved to Thailand, staying in Pattaya area. And he came out to Thailand with 3.5 grand saved up. And he's asking me for a shit ton of advice. And I'm like, bro, you need to learn an online high income skill ASAP, bro. Because that 3.5 is gonna go quick. If you've got no discipline, you ain't got no fucking knowledge of how to make money online, right? What are you gonna go and do? Go to a fucking soy bar and start asking random dons how to do day trading, bro. Because you don't know how to go and make money from your laptop and Wi-Fi, right? Because you never put the time into thinking about shit. How do I stay? How do I make this stick? What happens 3 months past, visa's expired, you ain't gonna put down 3K on a DTV. Fuck Thailand, right? Because I've been to Brazil, I've lived in Portugal. You move to Spain, Mallorca. You wanna go to the Caribbean, right? It doesn't matter where you wanna go Colombia. What is your plan to stay abroad, right? And if you don't have a plan, you are going to fail. Your plan is not to stay abroad. Your plan is to go and have a prolonged holiday and look lit temporarily. And then come back to be back in Manchester or Birmingham by the end of the year, by the end of Q4. Is that the life you want to live? And I can talk the talk because like I keep saying, I have walked the Bumbleclot walk with my 2 big ass suitcases. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You know, how did I go from this version of myself to this version of myself within a year, right? Or even less than that. Because I'll tell you one thing, moving abroad isn't real freedom. Congratulations, you know how to go on British Airways and look at the cheapest economy flight. Congratulations, you know how to go on Skyscanner and see a 550 Thailand flight and you're gonna be getting on a plane at like 3:24 in the morning. Congratulations. Moving abroad is not real freedom. Real freedom is staying abroad. Real freedom is being someone who's a travelpreneur and can go wherever the hell that they want, because no matter what country, what time zone, what continent they're in, they're making money. Like myself now, compared to that person who you don't want to be, DJ, digital joke man. Someone who's moved abroad but doesn't know how to make it stick because they don't know how to make money online. You need to become a travelpreneur if you want to stay abroad. Because if you want to be that person that's looking lit for your friends and you think you're going to make it work, but you're just going to see how it all works out, I promise you, you're going to be going home. That same economy flight that carried your ass here is going to carry your ass back to the blood clot place. You've been spending all this time trying to leave for so long. Moving abroad is not real freedom. Anybody can move abroad. Anybody can book a one-way ticket, my friend. But not everybody can stay. Not everybody can stay outside of the country they've been complaining about for the past 4 or 5 years and actually make it stick and create opportunities for themselves so they never have to go back. Where do you sit, right? Chances are you're probably thinking about moving abroad or you're already abroad and not making no money. So, but in both scenarios, you're still fucked. What are you going to do about it? Most people who are looking to move abroad are like this guy. I just like to be honest. They're really like this guy, right? And the reason why they're like this person is because they've booked a one-way ticket to Southeast Asia. Everyone thinks that Southeast Asia is this fucking safe haven. Oh my God, yeah, I just really want to go to Thailand. I want to go Vietnam. Oh, I'm in Da Nang. Congratulations, bro. You're eating fucking pho on a Thursday. Congratulations, you're having pad kapow and goi tiao, do you know what I mean, on a Saturday afternoon. Congratulations, right? Most people are just retarded because they're looking to move abroad, having booked a one-way ticket to Southeast Asia, living off savings and having no active income. What are you doing, right? And like I'm saying, right, let me zoom out. And like I'm saying, I'm talking off experience because I've been that person. So I'm telling you with authority, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. Do you know how many people there is right now living in Southeast Asia, right? Posting content, thinking that they're lit, showing it, giving it the big one on social media, going out every day, having a great time, but they're checking the conversion rates every second. Oh, you know, I don't want to spend an extra 1,000 baht today. That's 20 quid. Do you know what I mean? Because they're focusing on what they have rather than focusing how can I go and make more? How can I create an online income skill that allows me to stay abroad? Where do you actually want to be? Like genuinely, have you really thought about this for yourself? Dance. I didn't even know that I put that there. You're a dance. If you're someone who is looking to move abroad and your focus is not how can I create, what do I need to do to learn an online skill that can pay me? You're cooked, you're a dance, genuinely. And when I say create an online income skill, I'm not talking about get a remote job or become a fucking TEFL teacher. Who wants to be a TEFL teacher making £900 living in some rural part of Thailand, bro? Fuck that, you don't want to be living like that. You want to be making, right, high 4 figures, if not 5 figures a month online, being able to travel wherever you want to go without stress. Oh, the girls are linking up in Cape Town in January, so let me just book my ticket and go. You want to be a travelpreneur. You don't want to be a fucking backpacker. There's a difference. Which one do you want to be? I'll be all the way honest with you, right? Genuinely. The people who stay abroad and make it a lifestyle, a permanent lifestyle for themselves, just like these two people who just happens to be me, are the ones who have created a system for themselves and are not just going out to live abroad and live off vibes, bro. Vibes don't pay the bills. Vibes doesn't buy tickets. Vibes doesn't get you the opportunities to make this new chapter of your life a permanent chapter. Make it the whole damn book. If you want to move abroad and stay abroad, right, my good friend, you need to have a system. Stop relying off of vibes. And I'm not the only one who's been able to create a system. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's only me who's been able to figure out how to become a travelpreneur. Let's look at my clients, right? My client, James. If you haven't seen my other videos, I suggest you go and watch my videos on this channel. I've got a video that's literally called How to Build an Online Income and Move Abroad Without Building a Personal Brand, which is dedicated to my boy here. Shout him out, James, sick guy. James, what did he do? Moved out to Thailand, living off savings. Learned a high income skill, which was online sales, to never have to go back to a 9-to-5 job because he was tired of, you know what I'm trying to say, having some dickhead boss telling him he's got 52 minutes and 12 seconds to go and eat yesterday's tuna sandwich for lunch. Or he learned how to make 5K per month online, if not more. I guarantee that he's making more, but I'm not a pocket watcher. I've taught him an online skill that he can go and use to make money from wherever he wants in the world for the rest of his life. James has now learned the online sales skill to become a closer, and he's closing on an offer, right? A high ticket offer, getting comms every single day. You know, you lock in for a few hours, 3 to 6 hours a day, you make £500, a grand for the day, and then you just go about your business, get your little Thai bird out there, living a good life. He's cushy. That's aside from me, right? Who else? Joe, my boy Joe. I literally spoke to him the other day. I'm getting on a call with him later today. I wanted to just check up on him, right? He just moved to Mexico. I haven't even been to Mexico myself. He's just moved to Mexico, right? Again, online high ticket sales role, right? Traveling and now living abroad full time. He's never been to South America in his life, bro. I'm so happy and stoked for him, man, because he's a good friend of mine, not just a client. Someone who I've taught an online skill to, and with the skills that he's learned, he's now been able to go and live the life that he actually wants, not having to worry about, oh, let me get this cheapest one and let me do this and let me look at this hotel's £20 cheaper than this one. Who cares, bro? Because he can go and live abroad and live whatever life that he wants now because he's created an online high income skill that will pay him every month. Both of these boys have got access to the high level networks inside my program and inside my personal networks and relationships, right? That have given them even more opportunities. Imagine you, for example, who's just moved abroad, don't know shit about shit, don't know anyone, feeling stuck and lonely. And both of these boys have built sick relationships and good networks with other people who are in the same boat of them, who are traveling all over. Joe's on the phone to someone, yeah, where are you going for Q4? Oh, I'm going Greece, bro. What about you? Yeah, I'm going to be in Cape Town. I'm going to be in Rio. And he can decide where he wants to go because he's built that network of people who are matching the version of himself that he has now become and who he wanted to become. If you're a girl, for example, and you want to go and live abroad, how are you going to go and build a new network of people who are in line with where you want to be? You need to be around and rubbing shoulders with these people who are living that travelpreneur lifestyle and not living that backpacker lifestyle and trying to save their last £30 and stretch it, getting a sleeper bus to fucking Chiang Mai, Thailand. Do you think these boys are doing that? No. And that's because they've learned and been taught a high online income skill, right? That allows them to make money online wherever they go. Now, am I saying that because we're travelpreneurs, we don't work and we just chill out on the beach, or I'm in Brazil drinking caipirinha on the beach and not doing no work? No, I'm not. That's a facade. That's bullshit. What the reality looks like is every day we're probably putting in hours of work, but rather than it being an 8-hour shift for some dickhead manager we don't like, it's probably 2 to 5 hours, 3 to 6 hours, right? 5-6 days a week, and then the rest of the day you can go in and explore and enjoy that new culture or country you're living in, having complete autonomy over your life because you are your own boss. Which one would you choose? That is how you become and live like a travelpreneur, rather than someone who's just a fucking backpacker, got £1,200 and trying to stretch it and see how long they can stay in Cambodia for. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Different paradigms completely. James and Joe are in a completely different headspace to probably where you are right now in your life, right? Where do you want to be? So what I'm gonna show you right now is a complete A to Z travelpreneur system about how you can not just move abroad, but you can sustain yourself abroad and thrive abroad. I'm sick and tired of people, yeah, I want to move abroad, and then they'll message me, people message me, be like, oh, hey Ty, I want to move abroad, I've just put my one-way ticket. And I'm like, okay, cool. What are you doing for money? What are you doing for online income? Oh yeah, well, you know, I'm just kind of dance. PSA, don't even message me on Instagram if that's your situation, if you're not looking to change that, right? You need to be thinking about how can I become a travelpreneur, a remote entrepreneur who gets to travel the world and not looking at staying in the cheapest place, right? And thinking about how can I just make more money? I'm going to spend my Q4 in Mexico like Joe, and he's probably saying to himself, before I leave Mexico, I want to make 20K. I want to make 15K. I got to do 10K this week. In the first 2 weeks, I want to make 7 grand, whatever it could be. Numbers doesn't matter, right? But you get my point. The paradigm is different. So here is my 3-step travelpreneur system that you can just copy and paste into your life to get the results that these boys, forget me, that these boys have gotten for themselves. Do these 3 and you're not just visiting that new country, you're living in that new country. And I ain't talking about getting no TEFL language teacher bullshit job either, right? This is literally how I've been able to live, not even visit, live in 3 different continents, right? In the last 9 months and make over 6 figures online, right? In doing so, since the start of the year. I've lived in Thailand first 3 months of this year, Brazil 4 months, I've lived in a month and a half, almost 2 months in Portugal this year as well. And Q4, I'm just chilling in Asia, and then I'm probably gonna go to the Caribbean Q1 next year because I can. This is how you do that. Step 1, you need a remote income vehicle, and I'm gonna break this down, what you actually need to do in a second, right? Step 2, is you need personal brand growth. So many people are trying to move abroad, living under a rock because they're too pussy to go and post their first video on YouTube or online. You don't make any sense, right? And step 3 is you need a relocation framework. People want to go and move abroad, but don't know, okay, if I go and move abroad and live in this place tomorrow, in 6 months' time, where do I want to be? How much money do I want to be making? What type of network do I want to have? There's levels to this game when it comes to being a travelpreneur, and most people do not even know this. So let's start from the beginning. So remote income vehicle, you'll be happy to know that there's 2 main ways that you can build an online remote income for yourself, right? None of these ways are easy. Both of these ways are simple. Anybody can do it. Who is competent, right? Not fucking lazy, puts in the work. You can get this done, right? It is very simple. Right? So step 1, build a bumbuckler audience. Build a blood clot audience. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Right? It's very simple. If you right now are looking to go and move abroad and you're not utilizing social media, come closer, my friend. Yeah, idiot. You're silly, right? How can you go and want to move abroad and you don't want to post content because you want to be Mrs. Mysterious, right? It doesn't make no bumbuckler sense anyways. How are you going to go and build networks? How are you going to go and make money? Am I saying that everyone needs to be shaking their ass online to go and make 5K and live abroad? No, I'm not saying that. But if you're not building a personal brand online, you're literally putting yourself at a net negative, which means that you're not really helping yourself in the long run to build opportunities for money to come towards you, and also networks and relationships of the places that you're going to choose to move to. If you want to be able to monetize and build a remote income, right, from building an audience and getting on social media, you first need to have a skill, a hobby, or an interest. When I first moved abroad, I had plenty of skills that helped me in my 9 to 5, but I'd left that behind me. So my hobby and my interest was exploring the new culture that I just moved to. And I built an audience of over 40,000 people who followed me because they wanted to see me documenting my journey abroad, right? And also, as a result of that, they started asking me questions. Oh, hey Ty, I see that you've been able to pitch a new job role to your your CEO at the last job you worked for. I've also seen that you've been able to build an audience online. I've also seen that you've been able to book a one-way ticket and leave the UK. How did you make it happen? So for me, if I'm getting 10 messages a day from people watching my content, let's say I don't have 40K, let's say I've got 3,500, that's still realistic. You can get 5 to 10 people messaging you a day, seeing your content, seeing your TikTok, seeing your YouTube, seeing your Instagram reel, right? Hey bro, hey sis, how was you able to go and do this? Hey bro, how was you able to go and do that? Da 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 da. Right? If people are coming to you and asking you questions because they have a scratch, they have an itch, they have a problem, that is an opportunity for you to go and monetize. Am I saying that you must be a scammer or guru and promise them significant? No, I'm not saying none of that bullshit. You clicked on my video because me and you both have sense. Let's not be an idiot, right? But what I'm saying is that if you have a skill, right? If you've solved the problem for yourself, and other people are asking you how you were able to solve that problem, you can package that problem into an offer. So example, you've been able to lose a shit ton of weight, change your whole life, change your whole mindset, and now you've moved abroad and gained the confidence to go and, move abroad all by yourself without knowing how to navigate through the new country. Those are 3 different problems you've solved. You can package those 3 problems up into an offer, price behind it, and say that if you want my help to solve your problem A, B, and C, here you go. Here is the offer, right? And just by you having exposure in the modern world, which is attention, people will want to put their hand up and ask you for your help because they're watching your content. And then what are you going to be able to do? Sell that offer and make money to clients that you have. It's not even that hard. You can have less than 1,000 followers online, right? Across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and make £2,000 per month consistently. You could have a 6-week program and charge £500 for it, and 4 people join your program, money. Does that make sense? I'm going to be doing a lot more videos going into this in more detail. So I'm just going to show you, top level, the remote income ways that you can do. Skill, have a skill, solve a problem. Package the problem you solved into an offer. Create content about it and put yourself out there to build an audience of people who like you, right? And those people will put money in your pocket, right? Because you're going to be helping them solve a problem that you've already solved for yourself. This is the most simple way for you to create an online income to sustain yourself abroad. How many times have you probably watched someone who's a creator move abroad and you're asking them for a travel guide, and that person's built up a digital product and sold that travel guide for £25? But we want to be focusing on high ticket, because rather than getting 100 people to pay you £17 or £25, what if just 6 people paid you £600? That is how you're able to build an online income stream for you to sustain your life abroad. This is what I've done myself. And then the second way that you could, hold on, we ain't even there, yeah? But you posting content, like I keep saying, I even forgot I put these examples in there. This is me posting content over a year ago, right? Documenting my journey, Falang speaking Thai. How many people do you think messaged me asking for my help to be able to move to Thailand and quit the 9-to-5 job? Me talking about self-doubt and things that I contend with and my mindset. How many people do you think was asking for my help and wanted to work with me one-to-one? All these opportunities that can come from you just simply solving a problem for yourself and helping other people solve the same problem that you have already solved for yourself, just through content, which you can do for free on your phone. I don't care what phone you have. I don't care that you don't know how to, you can do it, bro. Don't make excuses, my good sis, right? You can do it. So that's remote income vehicle number 1. Remote income vehicle number 2 is land an online sales role, become a setter, an SDR, a closer. Go and watch these videos if you have not done it already, because I have a full A to Z detail, whole videos specifically talking about what that is, what that looks like, the full A to Z. I'm not covering that in this video, yeah? But in short, online sales is a skill. Let's say there's a fitness coach who has 200,000 followers on their Instagram, or a female coach, for example, a woman who is a femalepreneur, right? And she helps other girls boost their confidence, and she has a program. Let's not say she's a course, she has a program. She helps people work with them one-to-one. She charges £3,000 for a program. She's getting 15 messages a day. She just wants to take sales calls. She don't want to be sending voice notes to Sasha, Kiara, and fucking Kaylee, right? To get them booked in for a sales call. So you're going to be on her account, talking on behalf of that person, booking her leads in for a sales call. And when she closes Sasha, Kiara, and Kaylee for £2,000, you make 10%. So you make 200 times 3, which is £600, just like that, for a skill of online sales. I've got these 2 videos and more on this channel going into full A to Z detail about what you need to do in order to understand the online sales game more and how it actually looks. I've got my boy James, I've got several clients who've been able to go down this route and been able to make it work, and several clients who've built an audience that I've helped them as well to be able to launch their own offer. The point is, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if you want to become a travelpreneur and not just move, but sustain yourself online, or should I say abroad, you need to be doing one of these 2. I've done both. You need to do one of these 2. That's how you're going to be able to sustain yourself abroad, right? And be like Joe. Where is he? Be like my boy Joe. Just arrived in Mexico, probably on track to do about 9 to 10 grand this month. Or my boy James, out in Phuket with his missus, good, decent life, making about 7-8 grand a month, for example, right? Not really having to stress and or go home. Personal brand growth, right, is this next stage of how you can be able to understand my travelpreneur system. Content is a cheat code, it's leverage, because people buy into your story. Your journey is your brand. So you're probably thinking right now, oh Ty, but I'm not confident like you, shush. Oh Ty, but I haven't moved to Thailand like you, shush. Oh Ty, but I don't really know what to post, shush. right? You can go and build a personal brand by just putting your thoughts, feelings, and opinions out there for the world to go and agree and disagree with. Everything can be content. If you're not putting and building an online personal brand, you are going to be left behind, my friend. Building an audience is the highest leverage lever you can pull when you're looking to go and move abroad, because let's put the money aspect aside that I've just spoken to you about. You've just gone and went and moved to Colombia. You're not the most extroverted person. You don't even know how to go and speak Spanish. You want to go and meet like-minded people who are in the exact place where you now have decided to move to. Building a personal brand and leveraging what comes on the back of having a personal brand is the highest leverage lever that you can pull. So if you're not looking to intentionally grow an audience so more people can understand where you are in the world, and those people who are also in that part of the world can come and reach out to you, you're doing yourself a massive, massive disservice. So let's move forward, man. The final stage of this is the relocation framework. Let me tell you one thing that I've realized, right? People look at where they want to move abroad on where they actually desire to be. But I'm telling you now, fuck your desires. You will go based on what your income dictates. Your income decides your location. That is the formula. If you're only making 1.5K to 2.5 grand a month online, Thailand, Bali, Mexico, these are the places for you. If you're now moving from 4 to 7, 6, 7 grand a month online, South America, Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, these are the places where you're going to start to be looking and opening up your horizons, because your income is a thing that dictates that. If you're now making 7 grand a month, congratulations, Dubai, Europe, Caribbean, all these places are for you. And I know some of you thinking, oh, what do you mean Caribbean or Europe, 7K a month? This is subjective, my boy, yeah? Let's not get into the specifics. If you want to live a bit more flashy or a bit more frugally than the next person, that's perfectly fine. These are just examples. Let's not get in our pants about it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Your income decides your location. That is the formula. I don't care where you want to go. I'm telling you, your income dictates where you can go. How about that? Right? So let's flip it on its head. How can you move abroad, go broke, and then go home? This is the actual blueprint that you should do if you want to move abroad, stay abroad for, a couple months, live the nice lifestyle, post a couple pictures on Instagram, and end up moving abroad and basically going broke, right? Go out there and rely on your savings. Go rely on your savings, live lavish now, go broke later. That's the blueprint of what you should do. Switch up on the day ones, that type of vibe. Number 2, try and figure it out later and make something work somehow. If you want to move abroad, yeah, and you want to go broke, and you want to end up making this not an actual lifestyle, you just want this to be a little small chapter, just go out there, go find yourself. All that type of bullshit, yeah? Go and find yourself and try and figure it out later and just try and make it work. I've got someone in my DMs right now who moved to like Pattaya or Chonburi in Thailand, right? Living off savings, doesn't know what the fuck he's going to go and do, right? Because he's trying to figure it out. And that is exactly how you're going to move abroad and end up going broke abroad, and then you're going to have to go back home. Do these 2 things if you want to be in that bracket. That's just the reality of it. And the reason why I know that this is what's going to happen is because I've lived abroad now, like I said, for almost 2 years myself. I'm not talking from a place of arrogance. I'm talking from a place of experience, because I know what it's like moving abroad and you're scared. I know what it's like to have to build an online income. And I know what it's like having threats of having to go back home, but you don't want to do that. That is why I've created the exact travelpreneur system that I have used to create an online income. You've already seen what I've talked about at the beginning of this video, but forget me, because it's all going to be talking about myself, right? This works because I've done it, but my clients have done it too. James has done it, and he's out in Phuket living with his girlfriend, making 7 to 10 grand a month, having no worries. Joe just moved to Mexico, first time being in South America, working as a closer in an online sales role, living his best life, working 4 to 5 hours a day, locking in, of course, because he's a killer like that, but he can live life on his own terms. He ain't got a fucking backpack. He's not a little digital bro mad either. He's literally living life on his own terms, traveling the world and making money, never having to go home if he doesn't want to. This is what it comes down to. You can be abroad making an online active income in the next 90 days if you actually commit. If you don't commit, you're going to be either stuck in the UK, stuck in America, don't know how to get out, or you're just going to move abroad and be broke and go home the same way. They both lead to the same place. Where do you actually want to be? Genuinely, where do you actually want to be in the next 90 days? If you want my help, right, and you want my exact travelpreneur system and you want me to help you one-to-one. You want to work with me one-to-one so I can help you actually build an online income like I've done for all of my clients and actually move abroad in the next 90 days. Click the link in the description and book yourself in for a call with myself. If you're looking for a bit more help and you want, I've got a free travel scorecard and a travel blueprint for you, which goes over everything that you need to do step by step to go and move abroad. DM me the word travel on Instagram and I'll send it over to you straight away. Right? But you have to do something. If you've come to the end of this video and you're like, yeah, he was dropping sauce, like sauce, mate, fire, and you just continue going about your life, you know exactly where you're going to end up. And that is going to be a digital joke, man, or you're going to end up moving abroad. You might even be abroad right now and you're going to go broke, my friend. So DM me on Instagram if you want my help and book in a call using the link below. Nice one, and I'll see you in the next one.